The 2019 Indie Originals Talent Competition with Jake Estrada and Chuck Fresh. Music, movies, books, and talent. Indie Originals. There is no substitute.
You are tuned to the hottest indie music source in the entire world. This is Indie Originals Live. IOL. With your host, legendary DJ and performance artist, Chuck Fresh. You too can hear your own original music here on IOL. Visit our website for details, indieoriginals.com, or swing by our Facebook page at Indie Originals. Welcome to episode 23 of Indie Originals Live. My name is Chuck Fresh. I'm one of the hosts here along with Felicia B. And this is the greatest indie music that has ever been produced in the history of planet Earth. And that's for real. If you listen to the prior 22 episodes, you know exactly what I'm talking about here. But a lot of people are asking us, we're having this big event, this big competition. It's in not only indie music, but also film and books and all that stuff. And people are asking, hey, Chuck, what's the deal with this thing? I'm like, well, go look at the website, indieoriginalslive.com. I'm like, I don't want to look at a website. So apparently people digest things in different ways. So for those listeners who don't like to read, I'm going to give you the skinny right now, so bear with me for a few minutes. Again, great music coming up in this program, so stick around for that. Now, it's indie artists, musicians, authors, and filmmakers, and I'm one of all. I actually have written, I'm part of 5 music projects. I've written 17 books, and I'm also part of a couple of films, including one I'm making myself. We've all stumbled on the roadblocks that our respective industries have placed in front of us. It just happens. All entertainment industries have been forced to change with the instantaneous delivery of music, film, books, demos, and entertainment in general that no longer needs that physical packaging. And why is that important? Because there was a huge buffer in those physical products that made a lot of money for entertainment companies. A lot of them wouldn't sell. However, the ones that did sell made this huge additional revenue stream. People who bought The Matrix or your favorite film on DVD or your favorite music on CD, they bought so many of them that the major entertainment companies were able to fund their pet projects, their other projects, the ones that didn't make it. Well, that's gone away now. So money's tight at these big corporations. But the other side of the coin is that indie artists can now reach heights never before attainable. But again, the flip side to that benefit, which is ironically also a benefit, but the market is now glutted with dreamers and doers. It's just so much music, so many self-published books and CDs and movies that there's more noise than ever. So to get what you want, you have to really cut through the noise. Well, that's what we want to do as Indie Originals and our nonprofit foundation. We want to cut through that noise and all the scams. There's a lot of subsequent scammers in this industry. So we want to help you cut through that, identify them, get rid of them, make sure you don't fall prey to their stupid business practices, and find the best solutions for all independent artists so you can pursue your dreams safely and affordably. So our foundation, which is a 501c, will provide support, education, and promotion to deserving independent artists, regardless of your budget or popularity. And it's a big nut to crack, as I'm finding as we're developing this organization. And there's just a few of us doing this thing. Man, it's a lot of work, and we're probably going to need your help. We'll need a whole volunteer army to help promote the indie industry and get this thing rolling in different cities all over the United States and eventually globally. So what about the competition? Well, beginning with the first ever Indie Originals Talent Competition, which began on December 15th of 2018 and runs through basically May 31st, 2019, Indie Originals offers unique radio, podcast, and web exposure with social media sharing of our contestants and their materials. And this has never been done. So we think that publicity, marketing, and promotion are key factors to any successful indie artist endeavor. And helmed by myself, the CEO of Brevard Marketing, a 30-year marketing expert, blah, 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 I think we can offer all three. That's publicity, marketing, and promotion effectively and affordably. And this show is part of our equation. You're listening to this show. You found us. So this is part of what Indie Originals can do for you. So each talent competition, we plan to do this annually, maybe twice a year. It'll culminate in a final ceremony and a local independent creators convention, which is dubbed IndieCon. The first one's going to be held in Melbourne, Florida on June 14th and 15th, 2019. The Friday before the Saturday. Saturday is the 15th, June 15th. And Friday, we're going to have a small film festival at a local theater. And then the full-day convention will be held on Saturday, the 15th at noon. So awards will be distributed along with a local showcase of talent and artists, musicians, and filmmakers to other types of marketable talent. Awards will be distributed via our social media streaming, so that will happen live online, although the venue doesn't have Wi-Fi, so we're going to figure that out before we get there in June. Yeah, there's problems at every corner, but it's well worth it. It's going to be an amazing organization, and we need your help to support it. So our talent competition is going to have 4 main categories. It'll have music for composers, bands, soloists, etc., songwriters, singer-songwriters, folks, rockers, solo guitarists, anything you can think of has anything to do with music. And then we're going to have a film category for movies, documentaries, screenplays, shorts, trailers, posters, whatever. And in a book/literature category for authors, covers, articles, graphic novels, comic book illustrators, etc. And then there's a 4th area called general talent. And I'll tell you what that's going to be. It's a little more complicated. So music, if you do jazz, rock, rap, whatever, throw your entries to us at www.indieoriginalslive.com. Some of these entries have already been played and will be played tonight on this national radio broadcast and also on our international podcast. We also tag you on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and we share the fact that you're on our show in this big social media blitz, which is good for everyone. Plus, all the artists are added to our Spotify playlist for additional promotion, so that's nice. And when the contest completes right here on this radio show, we're going to run a special best of show featuring winners from all categories. It will include brief stories about each artist. So that's kind of cool. So music entries will be judged by a panel overseen by myself and Felicia and our other co-host, Karen Wooden. So that is exciting. And then we have our books category. And these are independent authors who write, fan fiction, sci-fi, children's books, suspense, romance, anything, man. Horror books, or those of you who recorded audiobooks. You should enter this category of the Indie Originals Talent Competition. And we're going to add our entries to our Amazon and Goodreads list, also to our website with backlinks, so you get exposure. That's what this is all about, getting your product out to the masses and cutting through the noise of all this independent goodness. And then we have the film competition, over 20 categories to choose from, including horror and sci-fi and drama and romance and fan fiction. We even have categories in there for screenplays. So all kinds of stuff in the film category. And we will have a mini film festival, as we said, the Friday before the IndieCon in June of 2019 in Central Florida. Real easy to get to. One of the top tourist destinations in the world. So many airlines and trains and buses and whatever get in there. Hitchhikers. However you get there, man. And then there's the talent category. And there's so many talent categories that we found it impossible to guess and create what would be individual categories for each, because we don't know what the popular indie talent categories are yet. And we're not afraid to admit that. We're going to figure that out. And by next year, we'll be able to fine-tune that into individual categories. We kind of lumped it all into one, see how it works out. We're working with a company called Turner Talent in Melbourne, Florida. And we're going to showcase models, singers, actors, actresses, dancers, and other performers, choreographers, designers, clothing designers, steampunk people, all kinds of stuff. And we'll showcase that. And what's cool about the convention is you'll have filmmakers there, you'll have musicians there, you'll have authors there, people who are looking for actors, actresses, who want to do audiobooks, voiceover talents, who want to do music videos, narrative voices, cover images. We'll have photographers and artists there. So it's really a really neat synergy from all these independent genres. So you'll be able to pull from one, it's really a venue for people to get together who do independent creative stuff, who have never really got together in the same room. And that's the genius of this thing. So local talent will be displayed, and there'll be a contest for that too. Kelly Turner will be judging and managing the talent category. So we're really excited for the IndieCon convention on June 15th, 2019 at the Melbourne Auditorium in Central Florida. So we're going to announce all our winners from all our categories on stage, and again, simulcast that on social media. You can come down if you win and appear in person. We'll let you know in advance, and you can even give your little Oscars or Grammy speech on stage right there. It's a beautiful stage. The place holds about 3,000 people. It's insane. So during the convention, there'll also be panels, workshops, vendor booths to help introduce local independent artists to a variety of resources from photographers, makeup artists, steampunk designers, and so much more. So all these things will be happening at IndieCon on June 15, 2019. Again, hit the website. I know you don't like to read. It's www.indieoriginalslive.com. All the information there and descriptions of all the categories. You can enter, too. You need to enter before March 31st. The rates go up after March 31st. So you definitely want to jump in. We're talking, we've got like a month and a half, so you need to get in on that now. So, yeah, it's insane. Modeling workshops. We'll have an author display with local authors from all over Florida, and we'll have film trailers, clips playing on our projection screen in between bands. We'll have local bands there, too. Rock, singers, songwriters, a little bit of everything. Dancers. It's an amazing organized event, and it's the biggest thing I've ever done personally, and we're really excited about it. Tickets are on sale now. You can get to those tickets from our website, indieoriginalslive.com. So we're looking for an event sponsor, which is a terrific opportunity for a national business to jump on board and really get your word out to independent artists all over the country. And give us a shout or a jingle about that. You can email info@indieoriginals.com, and we can give you more information about the sponsorship opportunities. And you can come out to the convention and actually rent a booth out there. We're only charging $95 for a booth at a major convention. I know most booths in most conventions are $300, $400, $600. This is $95. It's our first year for an 8x8 booth with a skirted table. Some of them have electricity. We got premium locations, expanded booths, and of course our event sponsor gets a whole bunch of booths, and you know how that works. So indieoriginalslive.com for more information. Follow us on social media. It's amazing. It's going to be kick butt, and guarantee it'll be a great time.
This is IOL.
I don't want the night to turn to day. I just want to stay, it's what I need. I don't want the birds to fly away. I just want to stay, sing me to sleep. Just want to stay, sing me to sleep. On my shoulder, reminding me that nothing's changed, even when the night is, and I can't fall asleep at night. I can never keep my eyes shut, and I can't fall asleep at night. I can never keep my eyes shut, and I don't want the night to turn to day. I just want to stay, it's what I need. I don't want the birds to fly away. Sing me to sleep, just wanna stay, sing me to sleep.
Hey all, Big J in the house. The Lord has a special place in his heart for indie music. That's why he hath bestowed upon thee Indie Originals Live, the award-winning #1 podcast for indie music. He and I have blessed that Felicia and her sidekick, Chuck Fresh, with the gift of recognition. These fine souls have the unique gift of being able to choose the most amazing indie music on earth. It's biblical, man. Look, don't take my word for it. Listen for yourself. Indie Originals Live. Available on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, iHeart, and everywhere great podcasts are heard. Thanks, y'all. Bless you. Jesus out.
He's a proper gentleman, baited by the Santonym. It's too late, so bark in the yard. You've never been here before. I've come to settle the score. Now that we know what we're both about, how's about I keep shutting my mouth? Give me all you got for the night is through. Ooh, 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 ooh. Kiss me so I know everything is alright. Don't you ever live with the morning light. Give me all you got, I gotta make it through. Ooh, 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 ooh. And when it's over, it's overdue. Calculated strategy, knew she could come along with me. Takes a seat, I take it too far. Gave it all away too soon. Finds a corner of my room, finds my flannel, covers her scar. Never tasted tears like that. Hold me close and don't look back. Stop me if you've heard this before. Well, she could rub a naked Cadillac, give some man a heart attack, prophesizing mine is a storm. I never wanted you more. You're going to walk out my door. Now that we know what we're both about, how's about I keep shutting my mouth? Give me all you got for the night is through. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Kiss me so I know everything is alright. Don't you ever live with the morning light. Give me all you got, I gotta make it through. Ooh, 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 ooh. And when it's over, it's overdue. And when it's over, it's overdue. You know it's true. Now that we know what we're both about, how's about I keep shutting my mouth? Give me all you got for the night is through. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Kiss me so I know everything is alright. Don't you ever live with the morning light. Give me all you got, I gotta make it through. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And when it's over, it's overdue.
This is your president speaking. Chuck Fresh is a man after my own heart. He's not afraid to grab him by the, well, you know what I mean. I hated his old show, Local Beat Live, the worst, terrible. But this show, Indie Originals Live, it's tremendous, the best. When I'm not golfing or tweeting from the toilet, my senior staffers will find me holed up in a closet listening to Indie Originals Live. And that Felicia, beautiful, tremendous. Listen to Indie Originals Live every week. Or you may be investigated by the FBI. Just kidding. Fake news. Thank you.
always miss. Well, I'm making up for it. She's got that Hollywood style that I'm in love with. You miss in California. She's got the devil in her eye. She sings the Beatles. She's dancing to the bassline. 'Cause I was so obsessed by you. I've been dying to make my move. 'Cause I was so obsessed by you. If only I could turn back the years and rewind. And just like the movies, you'd be mine every time. Well, I just don't know how we ended here. I just don't know how we ended here. Sick, and I'm still playing the same old local bars. Hey Jude with my guitar. Where is that Hollywood style that I'm in love with? You dreaming of Chicago? I wish your 9 to 5 life, Monday to Friday, you dancing to the bassline. 'Cause I was so obsessed by you. I've been dying to make my move. 'Cause I was so obsessed by you. If only I could turn back the years and rewind. And just like the movies, you'd be mine every time. Well, I just don't know how we ended here. I just don't know how we ended here. I just don't know how we ended here. I just don't know how we ended here.
You found it. The hottest source for all new original music you haven't heard anywhere else. This is Indie Originals Live, IOL, with your host Chuck Fresh. We'll be back with more killer tunes right after these short words.
Welcome back to Indie Originals Live. We're a radio show and podcast that broadcasts on 11 radio stations all across the country and a global podcast audience. It's well into the thousands, featuring the most amazing indie music on earth. We handpick what we think are the best indie songs in the world in any given moment, and we share them with you. Our response has been pretty phenomenal. So first of all, thank you, loyal listeners, for that. That's so cool that you're doing this. You're following us. You're sharing us. So thank you again. And please continue to do so. Let's help make this thing bigger and greater than it already is. So we met with our music promoter friends this week. We had an interesting conversation that led to something I thought was kind of magical. You might think differently, but I thought it was kind of magical. So this week we created the first ever Indie Originals Live music, film, and talent competition. That's right, a competition. Now check this out. This is a way to help artists become recognized for their talent rather than their fans, followers, or even funding. The thing is, we've seen a lot of artists climb to the top of certain charts who, with, I'm going to say this very gently, with no disrespect intended, probably shouldn't be at the top of those charts, if you know what I mean. If you listen to some of this stuff, you're like, whoa, what is he doing there? What is she doing there? And, well, creative success has always been kind of a popularity contest. What the Indie Originals Live music, film, and talent competition aims to do is reward talent based on talent alone. That's right. If you're talented, we want to share that with the world. If you got a killer song and like only, say, like 152 Facebook fans, you could still win first prize in this Indie Originals Live music category. If you film the most beautiful movie in history, but you only have like 47 YouTube views, we don't care. It doesn't matter. You could still bring home first place in the Indie Originals Live film competition. So this is what it's all about. It's fair. It's objective. It's all about talent, and this thing is global. And check this out. We'll have a regional ceremony to announce the winners each year. And the first one will be in June 2019 near Orlando, Florida. What's really cool about the local ceremony is we'll announce our national and global winners, but then we'll also have separate categories for local artists, bands, and filmmakers. So that's right. We bring the local community and get them involved. So maybe a certain local artist isn't ready to compete on the national or global stage just yet. Well, that's no worries, because the Indie Originals Live music, film, and talent competition will recognize the region's best talent too. So there's separate categories for regional and then national and global talents. It's really the best of all worlds, really the best in the world. If you think about what we're doing here, first time this has ever been done. And what's even cooler is that music finalists will be played right here on this radio program for a national audience and also be featured on our podcast for our global audience. So talk about exposure. There's no other indie music contest that offers this level of exposure. And again, we don't care if you don't have any social media presence at all. I don't care if you don't have a website. If you're some guy with a guitar or some girl that just likes to sing beautiful indie music. All we care about is your talent. Consider the playing field leveled. If you think about it, this is really a brilliant opportunity for any budding musician to get the exposure they need to move to the next level. Oh, and the ceremony, get this. This is just everything, just the stars all aligned perfectly. We just happen to know some of the most amazing premier event planners on earth. Just happen to live in our neighborhood, and we just, by chance, just know who they are. And we're really like super friends. So people who produce these very big shows you've heard of, and they've always wanted to produce this award ceremony that looks something like the CMAs or the Grammys. They've always wanted to do something like this. So we've given them complete creative control to produce something even better. We've already seen the preliminary plans, and our minds are already blown, and yours will be too. I mean, wow. I'm talking wow. The space is already booked. The deposit's down. The wheels are in motion for the 2019 awards ceremony that will happen June 15th near Orlando, Florida. It's already happening, people. We've already set this thing up and wheels are in motion. So it's going to happen. So you need to be involved in this thing. You need to know about it. You need to share it. You need to tell other people, and you need to be involved in this as an indie musician. The IOL Music, Film, and Talent Competition will begin accepting entries on January 1st, 2019. So get your best stuff ready. You've got a couple of weeks to do it. And head over to www.indieoriginalslive.com for more information on this amazing contest. It's got a separate website, indieoriginalslive.com. And you can get there from our page, which is indieoriginals.com, and all our Facebook and Instagram and other social media sites, too. We can link up to the indieoriginalslive.com for the first ever Indie Originals Live music, film, and talent competition. We're super stoked about this. And we're going to begin playing music from the contestants in January of 2019 right here on this show. So it's a great way to get national radio exposure, global podcast exposure, and also get your music in front of the right people. We've also got some deals as far as the prizes go for some studio time. We will probably have some cash prizes, and depending on the sponsors, we may be able to get you fast-tracked to a certain television program that we can't disclose yet. I can't talk about that yet, but we might be able. We're still working on that. I can't guarantee that, but we're hoping that's going to come through. We might be able to get you fast-tracked on a big deal television program. So stick around for that for more details. Hopefully that'll work out. The first ever Indie Originals Live music, film, and talent competition. Remember, check it out online, rules, regulations, all that fun stuff, www.indieoriginalslive.com.
Just me at a red light, staring out the window, thinking what I just might say to you, what I did not say, what I now must scream. Don't leave me, don't leave me. Your voice is all I need. You are mine, you are
2019 Indie Originals Talent Competition with Jake Estrada and Chuck Fresh. Music, movies, books, and talent. Indie Originals. There is no substitute.
Sunset on the river, do you miss me much? Are the colors still as bright when I'm not there to hold you tight? Why did I let you go? If I asked, would you have stayed and danced across the water unafraid? Weekends in the autumn when I held you close, and the feeling was so right, so long into the night. Our emotions ignited, our passions ablaze, and we danced across the water unafraid. Winter in the canyon when I miss you most, and the feeling's unspoken, but the spell was never broken. I didn't let you go, and I asked, you said you'd stay and dance across the water unafraid. Dance across the water, dance across the water, dance across the water unafraid. Dance across the water, dance across the water, dance across the water unafraid.
You are tuned to the hottest indie music source in the entire world. This is Indie Originals Live. With your host, legendary DJ and performance artist, Chuck Fresh.
Feeling like a roller. You will feel like it burns deep inside when you see that the end of the story comes alive. Between the stories you hear, sometimes you'll find the one that was really my movie for life. It's lit with a magnifying glass. We find many, many colors that will really make you blind and sad at the same time. But you should never stop the feeling like a rolling. It's feeling like a rolling. It's feeling like a rolling. Going cycle deep into the yes, the bells are entrusted by all residents. Stories, historias que quedarán para que ellos queden down. Life is lit with a magnifying glass. We're finding many, many colors that will really make you laugh and cry at the same time. But you should never stop the feeling like a rolling. It's feeling like a rolling. It's feeling like a rolling.
this is Jones. You may have heard me on a documentary talking about Earth, or perhaps you've witnessed my masterful impersonation of Darth Vader. I wholeheartedly recommend this radio broadcast, Indie Originals. I honestly don't know much about Chuck Fresh, but what I can tell you, the Force is strong with this one.
Before this ends, there's things I'd like to say. I'll try as I might, I can't fight for you to stay. Oh, give me one good reason to believe that there's a solution. I don't want our time to fade away. Too great, too great, too great, too great. Before this ends, there's things I like to say. I'll try as I might, though we're just running for away. Held you away from the edge. I promise you that I try my best to give you the chance that you deserve. It's more than you deserve.
Central Florida, it's Indie Originals Live with your hosts, Felicia and Fresh. Tonight's musical guests, a bunch of incredibly talented indie artists you may not have heard of before, but who will most likely be tomorrow's biggest stars.
Go for a stroll with a lady I don't know, and you should do that, although it will be her who will just blow you away, and you will fly to a place that you don't know, full of raspberries that grow everywhere. So have a go to eat them all. Life can be full, it can be cool, it can be dull, and it may feel, but today it's pure that brill. Tiny town somewhere, there's a big wheel and a square. You're on for seats cause they are rare, so you can fly through the sky towards the mountains full of snow, to build snowmen you don't know before you jump back down to town, and you're bound for a second round. Life can be full, it can be cool, it can be dull, and it may feel, but today it's pure that brill. Life can be bright and full of light, of course it might as well be shite, but today it's just alright. Life on a big wheel with a lady I don't know, vessel 19 left you up till you can see from the top the evening mountains with their glow. That's where all the snowmen wave. They've had the raspberries and rave about all the vitamins inside. No Scooby-Doo, why they're still white, and now the bunch of snowmen move. They have the party and they laugh cause all the raspberries are gone. They ask for more and think it's fun. How could the bunch of snowmen dare? No more berries, that's me fear, but I'm just buying around the fair, for with my lady then to share, for with my lady then to share, on a big wheel and a square, and a tiny town somewhere, tiny town somewhere, somewhere.
This is IOL. are tuned to the hottest indie music source in the entire world. This is Indie Originals Live, IOL. With your host, legendary DJ and performance artist, Chuck Fresh. You too can hear your own original music here on IOL. Visit our website for details, indieoriginals.com, or swing by our Facebook page at Indie Originals.
The 2019 Indie Originals Talent Competition with Jake Estrada and Chuck Fresh. Music, movies, books, and talent. Indie Originals. There is no substitute.